With 9 locations around the globe, Hauser Wirth is one of the world's few mega galleries. Now they open the space in St. Moritz.
Iwan Wirth, you once said in an interview, "We are who we are because we grow out of Switzerland." Now you just opened a new location here in St. Moritz, so you're coming back to Switzerland. Why that?
Like so many Swiss success stories, you're deeply rooted. We are deeply rooted in Switzerland, and our roots are here, and in particular in the Engadine, actually. Of course, the valley is narrow, and the sky is very big. So we had a bigger appetite for the world, and to be honest, the artists really made us consider other locations. The reason we still work with most of the artists that we started over 25 years ago is because we were able to grow with them. And that meant that we had to represent them in other places than Zurich, where we started.
But why Engadine?
And the Engadine is a place of extremes. Extreme nature, obviously. It's very high. It's the highest, widest valley in the Alps. And it has attracted cultured people, writers, musicians, artists, philosophers, musicians, for 2 centuries or more. So there's an attraction, and we obviously, it's a place of great energy, great wealth, and great beauty, and that combination is the perfect recipe for an art gallery.
Also, you once said in an interview, we put the money where our mouth is. So I guess one big part is as well the clientele that you have here in St. Moritz.
We choose not always the most obvious location. We feel that in the countryside in the UK, in Somerset, we're in the middle of farmland. We chose that for particular reasons. We believed that in the Engadine you had to be in St. Moritz for us, and these spaces became available. So the best location in the center of the Engadine, we couldn't say no. We've been looking, casually looking for years, and we felt it wasn't really something we were interested in, is sort of to get out of in the periphery. We felt the Engadine is a little bit the periphery compared to Zurich, so it had to be very easy for people to come. But we couldn't find the right setup. These spaces are beautiful, stunningly renovated now, and so that's why it felt right. The location is everything, but it can be very unusual or surprising, and at the end of the day, it has to be attractive to the artists.
This location is very central. It's just opposite the Badruz Palace, next to luxury stores. Again, it is close to your clientele, I guess.
Of course, people don't go far, particularly in the winter. And to be honest, there are some beautiful galleries and art spaces outside of St. Moritz that we couldn't compete with and didn't want to compete with.
Why not?
So, because they've done it, we couldn't add anything to the scene. We felt that what was missing was in the heart of in downtown St. Moritz. We could add to it. The other galleries done the most beautiful jobs up and down the Engadine, including the lower Engadine, and so it was for us. We didn't feel we could really contribute to the conversation. Here, call it downtown St. Moritz, I thought we made a lot of sense.
We visited Gallery Judy, and they were first in Glarus, and she said that by coming to close to St. Moritz now, they have people from Zurich coming because they come here for holidays, while in Glarus it was closer to Zurich, people wouldn't come because they wouldn't really go to Glarus. But for you already have a gallery in Zurich, and you have galleries in New York and London and Hong Kong, LA, so it's not really needed.
That's correct. We did it because we asked our artists and the families that we work with, in this case Louis Bourgeois, and they just are fascinated by the idea to have an Alpine gallery, and we indeed, we have 9 galleries all over the world. We have close to 1 million visitors throughout the year in these locations. So it's not the audience that we're lacking or the people we don't meet, but we can't help ourselves. We like beautiful spaces. We like to still widen our audience. And indeed, it was to be reconnecting with the places we call home. And it felt very natural to do something in the Engadine, a proper gallery. We also have a place in Gstaad, but that is it's more a private dealership apart from the projects we do. So you can't compare it, and it's not central. It's not in the village, so it's very different. I'm a big fan of the Engadine, and so are our artists.
So you mentioned all the galleries that you have, 9 now in total with this one. What differentiates this one to the others?
It's obviously very seasonal. Our ambition is to help and increase this season. We want to add to the cultural discussion in this region. I think it gives an additional audience and public and press coverage globally. We hope that to meet new clients, obviously, that are maybe relatively new to the world of art, because if they're not, then they know us, they come and visit, which is wonderful too. I could also tell you that we do this to see our friends between Christmas and New Year, which is true too, because a lot of them have houses here and come here. But the real difference is the location.
With this living room.
Well, this is something we have in various galleries, so we call it the 5th floor, or the 2nd floor in London is very similar. We always have this place, where you have dialogues, where people feel at home, and they sink into the sofas and spend time with work, so with us or with a good glass of wine. Because after all, it's no one needs to buy art. It's really, it should be a pleasure. And we are part of, we completely understand our role.
So having a living room like that where it's cozy, you can also probably sell an art piece better, huh?
Well, it is designed for 2 reasons. It's designed to make the art look absolutely stunning, and obviously to give the comfort to the client that they can make a decision.
You had an art pop-up store at the age of 17 here at the Hotel Curating in St. Moritz, so you're actually really rooted to this place. How did the art scene change?
It was an adventurous idea, and I couldn't afford the rent at the high season, so I came before I was there before Easter, and it wasn't the right time, but the experience, the attraction of the place kept me thinking about it. Yes, we rented the ballroom. My neighbor was a fur dealer, and he did so much better. I think I sold 1 Daniel Spurry in that week, but I got to stay for the first time in my life, because that was a condition. I had to stay in the cult, so I never stayed in a 5-star hotel before. So at the age of 17, it was an adventure, a luxury adventure. My father drove me up. I couldn't drive yet, and we had the mobile walls that we rented, and then hung the works on. I would definitely call it a pop-up show, an early pop-up version of what people do now all over the world.
So you actually already knew where you have to do it to get to your clientele?
Yes, I also hung posters. I remember very well, I went to the Palace Hotel, legendary, because they wouldn't rent me the space, or I couldn't afford it. And then I had to, and I asked the concierge at Carlton, how would I get the poster up on the wall there? He said, well, you have to be generous to the concierge. And that helped, and that brought indeed a lot of people to the show.
Amazing. And now you're in the middle of St. Moritz so many years
So the
later.
art scene, to answer your question, there wasn't really, there was a lot of culture. That's still here. The place, the Engadine, has been a culture place for centuries. But a contemporary art scene didn't really exist. The audience that I met then found it amusing, the things I showed them. And although I probably, I was a youngster, Bruno Bischofberger, one of the pioneers here, was already running the gallery very successfully. I wasn't just part of the scene at the time. But the development, the contemporary art world has conquered a lot of places, among them also the Alps.
Right now you're also showing a sculpture by one of the most influential contemporary American artists, McCarthy, in front of the Hotel Waldhaus am See, outdoors. And I was wondering, is St. Moritz, is it easier here to put art in the public space, let's say if you compare it to New York? Is the local government more open, or?
Well, they were very supportive. It was actually, I think it was even an invitation to do something in the pub. And don't forget, you hardly ever sell a sculpture that you show in a public space. So it is more a philanthropic endeavor than it is a place to sell art. People love it, see it, but they don't often buy it. So you contribute to the cultural landscape, and it's for the attraction of the place. And I think that's why St. Moritz made it relatively easy. And the location we were given, which was our place of choice, is extremely spectacular. And Paul told me just last week that it's always been his dream to have a show in the Alps. And he will be one of the artists that will have a show in the gallery. And to be present with Henry Moore, Bound to Fail, that's the name, is a dream come true for him.
It's amazing. And it's also a statement for you. I mean, one can see this sculpture from far. Hauser Wirth is now in St. Moritz.
We wanted to have a symbolic piece that shows our DNA. We're pushing the envelope. We're redefining probably what galleries do and how they develop markets and audiences. And to be able to do that in our home country on that level with this support is a great experience.
You started this new magazine, Ursula.
Yes.
And I saw there's an ad by the Badruz Palace, which is just next door. So I was wondering, do you collaborate?
Yeah, so the Badruz Palace is our landlord. Mm-hmm. They were very supportive in giving us the locations here, and we will collaborate in many ways. I've actually just come from a meeting there where I had a look at all their new ventures inside the hotel. It's fascinating. It's a city in itself, and it's a classic. And in this magazine, we have invited everyone doing advertising in here was invited to be in it. And they all had to be a classic in one way or the other. And there is Daniel Hum with 11 Madison Park in it. There's our friend Paul Smith. So it's a curated advertising section. And as we are partners with the Badruz Palace, we felt it was appropriate to have them in.
The Badruz Palace is your partner. What does that mean? Will they, tell people to come to your gallery?
We are present in the hotel with various vitrines and windows. They've been very supportive. They want to have, a great mix of shops and offers in their spaces. So to have a gallery I assume, of our caliber was interesting to them for their guests. It's all about their guests. It's all about our clients. And so we work together on achieving the best for their people, which is also in our best interest.
I see all those luxury stores here. And I guess the most of the business that they do is between Christmas, New Year is when their clientele is here. So otherwise it's just a prestige thing. What about a gallery?
We have a small staff all year here, but we obviously are also only open when the hotels are open. It makes no sense to keep the space open to the public when no one's here. But we hope that we can help and extend the season. All these tourist destinations in the Alps trying to have a program, ideas to extend the season. And our I'm not going to talk about them in details because they're not quite there, but we have a lot of ideas how we can contribute to that. And this show, the Louise Bourgeois show, is clear, is a museum, is a small museum quality show. This could be in any museum in the world. So, of course, it's about a window into the Hauser Wirth world and the world of Louise Bourgeois as well. This is a commercial show. A lot of these pieces are on loan, so they're not even for sale. So indeed, our busiest period is during Art Basel and not over Christmas, New Year. But you start discussions here, and that will then lead to something else elsewhere, possibly.
Iwan Wirth, thank you very much and good luck.